Namaste, namaste, beautiful ones. My name is Elena Ra, and I'm here today to share with you. It's been a while since I had created my last podcast, and it felt as if I was about to say since my last confession. It does sort of feel like that actually, and because for the past 2 or 3 weeks, actually probably since 2-3 weeks, there has been a real sense of restructuring on a real inner level. If you imagine the body being the temple, and then you have the heart being the altar, and then of course you have the inner sanctum, and it's a very sacred place, but it's also a place that is filled with trepidation at the same time, because it's where it's the beginning and the end. It's the unknown, and it's the area where duality does not really fit in that space. So and the restructuring has basically happened, and this isn't exclusive to me. There's many people who've been going through this, and it's kind of like as we have moved through life, we have created coping mechanisms, or we have created belief systems or models of the world that has helped us to cope and to make sense of the various situations that we would have been interfacing with at various stages of our lives. And as we get older, we actually realize that these models or these ideas of ourselves no longer have any standing in the new world, that's for sure. And as we open into the new us, the more expanded version of ourselves, it's quite clear that we realize that those ways of being do no longer serve us, and there's no room for them. So I think that's what's been happening. Aspects of the human condition, the shadow human condition, shame, blame, unworthiness, unforgiveness, actually a mirror being presented to you, whereby you're actually able to see yourself, certain behavior patterns, certain ways in which we dealt with situations, and offering forgiveness in that place, and actually realizing, well, at that time that was all I knew. The wisdom that I had then was what it was, whether limited or not, and yet just to really let go of any shame or guilt attached to that. So the sense of forgiveness, looking at our behavior, really having a jolly good look at yourself from the inside out. And many people have been going through all sorts of rebirths and purging for many years now, and this restructuring is to really look at the integrity. Because once we have had the opportunity to sit within our inner ecology and actually recognize that there are aspects of ourselves that are difficult to sit within, then we're able to sit and just accept them for what they are, rather than address them as something negative or fearful or painful. And they may feel like that initially, until we really allow ourselves to move beyond that pain barrier and accept and sit with whatever that is, compassionately, with empathy and with love. And it does take a certain amount of courage, I have to say, and there have been times where it's been very difficult to be in that space, because I'm resisting being there, and because we're having a face-off, and the part of us, or the part of me that was facing off, the real part of me, the authentic part of me, or that part of me that is warts and all, didn't want to accept that I could potentially be judgmental or blaming or unforgiving or withholding, all that sort of stuff, So you know, it's timely that we all really accept who we really are on the inside. You know, particularly in avenues like Facebook or any other sort of community web situations, you know, we try and express who we are, and some of us have a sense of presenting our ideal self, and then there's the real self, you know. And it's interesting, you know, because what is that? You know, we wake up in the morning and we really know how we're feeling because we reside within these bodies, and yet we're encouraged to present this ideal self. But it's the real aspect within us, that part of us that perhaps has not been attended to or we have neglected, and to really listen in to how we're really feeling, that is that part of us that requires to be to evolve. And I think once we allow ourselves to do that and to embrace this real part of us, even the parts of us that are very difficult to sit within, they do expand into a place of love, and that's how we evolve and grace comes in. And actually that part of us that is real becomes one of the same, so it becomes authentic, it becomes true, it becomes a place of integrity, and within that place of vulnerability and realness, that is almost, well, it is an ideal state to be in. So so welcome that, and I know I often talk about how important it is to share our stories and to share our processes so as to normalize the process, so people don't feel, oh my God, is this just me, and it feels like the end of the world, I don't want to be here anymore. But you know, as they say, it's always darkest before dawn, and I am aware of all the gifts and the integrity as I'm now being restructured and reassembled in a way that has integrity, and also to maintain a place of humility and love, and I'm really grateful for that. On a personal level, I am at the end of the 7th cycle of my life, and each cycle is 7 years. So 7 times 7, and it's very challenging actually. But now that I understand what the process is, I wish there was a handbook to life. It just seems crazy that we all go through similar things, and yet, you know, we don't understand what's going on, and we can misinterpret or even miss the point altogether by trying to avoid a process of maturity and growth and soul evolution. So yeah, I'm recognizing that 14 years ago I was going through a huge shift. I just moved house, my father died, I had a cancer diagnosis, and I met the Dalai Lama. And there's a whole shift that is happening now as I prepare myself for this new period in my life, whereby I'm being, or I have been dismantled and now being reassembled or restructured on a really deep level. And I'm realizing that physically I am a lot more sensitive to certain things that I put into my body and people who I have around me, though I have great people around me, so that's been really clear. So yeah, this is the time now where I feel, for those of us who are in this situation, preparing to move into the new. And I really send you so much love and encourage you to continue, and to feel free to inbox me or to share if you feel the need to do so. But know that it's okay and you're safe. And somehow what we're actually doing is we're beginning to exercise a muscle, our spiritual muscle, as we move from duality into oneness. So it's one thing we can be mindful of, and be aware of it theoretically, and be mindful of how we treat other people. But then when we go through these inner restructuring, and we struggle to accept what is actually going on in there, then it's an opportunity for us to step into oneness, to not see aspects of ourselves as good or bad, or negative, or shame or blame or whatever, and we're just really able to sit with it energetically, because the truth of the matter is everything truly does come and go, and we're being called to just love every part of us without those parts being good or bad, for them to just be part of the whole, and that makes us a lot more compassionate with ourselves, and therefore for other people, and a lot more accepting. Because if we're able to truly love ourselves just the way we are, our curves and our edges, and then it means that gives us permission to love someone else in exactly the same way, without feeling the need to change them or to highlight certain aspects of their lives, like I love that part of you but I don't like that part of you. And I think the more we are able to embrace all these areas of ourselves, then it means that it allows us to love ourselves completely, and it opens the doorway to be loved in that way ourselves. And of course that's what we all desire, and why not? It's by design that we're here to love each other. So I leave this with you, beloved friends and family, wherever you are, whatever cycle you are in, and including the astrological effects that are affecting a lot of people, all the various changes that are happening, that are really summoning us to accept ourselves without judgment. And this has been reflected all over the world with all the various wars and things, that we're able to drop our worm's eye view of things, and so we're not dueling, fighting against ourselves and therefore each other, and it enables us to restore and to really love ourselves, and realize that everything that we experience or create in our world is a reflection of the relationship that we have within ourselves, including that part of the relationship that we have with ourselves that happens on an unconscious level. As the veil of illusion is being removed, we realize that we're able to see much more clearly what is going on in the world, and of course that what's also being revealed far more clearly, and sometimes very difficult to accept, is who we are as individuals, and the relationship that we have with ourselves, and the relationship that we have with other people. That is being revealed very starkly. People are beginning to see who they truly are, and it's humbling, because we'll have, as I said, we have this ideal persona or projection of ourselves. So this is an opportunity to come home and to love and to heal, and to realize, well, actually, all those behaviors and stuff, they happened and they were planted because that was the only way we knew at that time, and we no longer need to be in that place and be in hiding, or to feel ashamed, or or to blame something outside of ourselves. That we can heal that, or just let it go and just accept that we are constantly growing and healing, and and preparing for what we're really here to do, our true plan, our true mission, and our true calling. So this tempering, stripping back to our original innocence, and the true sovereign being that we are, being human. And it really is a beautiful place. And what I'm realizing is that being human, when we really do allow ourselves to go and sit in our hearts in that space of vulnerability and sensitivity, that there's only love there, and there's such an expanse of love and compassion, and in this space of vulnerability, it's just soul, it's just life and love and yumminess. So how beautiful do you dare to be? How human do you dare to be? How yummy do you dare to be? You know, how human do you dare to be? Wow, that's a big one, and that's a beautiful one, and that's what we're here being. We are being human beings. So I leave you with this. Namaste. Many, many blessings to you. Until the next time, be well.